the opportunity to try was big, because for the last 20, 30 years, as we understood this disease, there hadn't been even an opportunity to try.
If the treatment is successful, I think it will very much improve the quality of life for the patients. Today is another milestone in what has been a long climb. I don't think we're at the end of the road yet, but I think this is a very, very important milestone. I think this is one that I've been waiting for not quite 30 years, but I would say from that first experiment in 1969 where we could cure our cells in culture, that's 28 years. But then, of course, in medical research, that's not a very long time.
You ready to go? Good. Well, we're gathered for a very important occasion, a long time in coming, and I wanted everybody to be here because it really is 30 years in coming, and it's a special day for a lot of us. I think this journey began 30 years ago with Dr. Neufeld's lab with Dr. Frazzantoni, and then they, in an inadvertent mistake, mixed up some cells, and in that small mistake discovered how they might correct this disease using normal enzyme to get taken up by cells that don't have that enzyme. And took Dr. Neufeld and many, many fellows numerous years to go through the enzymology, the biology, cell biology of this disease, cloning the enzyme in 1991, and finally producing enough recombinant enzyme to be able to administer it today to Justin. First dose. It starts with a patient 30 years ago and takes this long path through cell biology, molecular genetics, and then back again to the patient. It really is an amazing story of scientific discovery and persistence.
If the treatment is successful, I think it will very much improve the quality of life for the patients.
Okay. There it goes. It's going. That's it. Great. All right.
And I think that was what's important about that first day, the opportunity to find out, answer the question, if we did make this enzyme and if we did give it to these kids, would it help them? And we found out it did.
I have been able to walk better, move my arms a lot better.
Able to run faster, not get out of breath a lot, and do most of the stuff that regular teenagers do right now.
Frankly, most people who work at the company came to the company already recognizing how important the work was that we were doing. So they already knew that this was changing the lives of patients. In many ways, that was the attraction coming to work with us.
The 10 original families had really high expectations from us, and it was the first time anyone had really ever given them a chance to hope for something beyond the original diagnosis. It's more of a mission, I think, for those of us in the laboratory.
This is just what nurses want to do, you know, to be able to work with these families. And I had the opportunity to be involved with this from the start to the finish, to see, you know, the first infusion up till approval, and now post-approval, patients getting these infusions is just, like I said, I can't think of a more rewarding job for a nurse.
When it came time to go into the trial, they knew we were making this enzyme ourselves in the laboratory there, that we had done the best we could to put together the best possible product and to treat them. And the family stepped up and said, give it to us, we're ready.
I opened the sliding glass door of my house that morning and there was a package from Dr. Kakkis that said we're ready for the trial. And I picked up the package and I ran to school, and I was just, I don't know how to describe it. And I just showed it to everybody, and it's everybody in his school, his teachers, the principal. It was almost like a holiday at school. And I mean, I was in shock. It's like I have a chance here.
Before I didn't think I had a future, and now I have a better one.
I'm going to continue acting and then study it in college and eventually study business as well and open my own theater group if I don't make it into the acting thing. Or I'd like to be an agent or possibly be...
It's a gift. It is given to you. And you get to bring your son home, and not only do you get to see him get better daily, people around you get to see him get better. It sort of gave this little tiny community of ours hope.
Once we began the treatment, she's had amazing changes. I mean, just within weeks of starting, that her joints got better, her liver and spleen went down to normal size. She's got much more stamina. She doesn't lose her breath as easily. Before, we couldn't walk any distance at all. We'd have to stop for her to catch her breath, and that's much better. I believe the doctors have been part of a miracle. I mean, this was really much more than we were ever led to believe could occur.
It didn't matter what the skeptics said. There was value in doing this. And I think now, while there are still skeptics, and there are problems that we have to solve, we're working on those and we're solving them. And no one could have predicted what all the solutions will be at the end. But you could predict that if you don't start working on them, you will never get them. And that's the important thing.
If you'd asked me a year ago, is there ever going to be a cure or, something to improve the quality of life, I'd have said no. I just said, no way at all.
I've looked at my life way back and said everything from now on is a heck of a bonus. I wasn't supposed to get this far. And
now that there is enzyme and that if it's going to become a possibility and a probability, and then people will be able to have their dreams back. And kids will be able to grow up,
It's been a 6-year road, and when this clinical study I, came along, obviously Scott and Greg couldn't be in it, and Greg was in a little tougher shape than Scott was, so they decided amongst themselves that Greg would be the one to go through the clinical study. And it's been really hard because Scott didn't think he'd ever see the day. And we knew we'd see the day, we just didn't know it was so far off. And today's the day.
Howdy, old timer.
You ready?
Yep.
A long time coming. And what we're excited about is Greg and Scott have been a part of a study that's going to help kids way down the road. And that makes them happy too. If they've helped one new baby lead a normal life, then I think it's been all worth it for them.
I do look forward to the future. I do count on tomorrow, but I can't always think tomorrow's going to be great and better. And now that I have this opportunity to feel better, I can think that way.
I just want them to be regular, just regular kids. That's what we hope for. That's what
kids.
Well, I keep forgetting. He's 27 years old. You're a kid, I guess.
Compared to an old man like you.
I'm lucky in a way that I have this disease, I feel, because I cherish things a little more than other people.
I've seen Greg on this enzyme for, 5.5 years, and he's maintained, and we've been able to fish, hunt, do all the things he really likes to do. If that is all that happens to Scott as he maintains, that's great. If he gets a little better, that'd be just a bonus.
Hold still. Don't move. You missed it. Okay.
comes in front of me. Even if it takes twice as long as everyone else, I don't care.
By merely getting into a trial, even if you didn't know it was going to work, it meant they were important. We were going to try to do something, and there was at least some hope, some chance that there would be something that we could do.
We didn't see any future for her. And we just experienced big difference since she received the enzyme. Actually, she was in real bad condition before we went to California, before we went to this treatment. She was already so bad. I mean, she stopped walking. Her liver was so big. She doesn't have any energy at all. She was actually, for her, it's like 5 between 12. And if it's a little bit longer, she probably will be terrible. So this enzyme actually gives her life.
We had that party out at the Queen Mary, and they did that whole little movie thing where they, talked about the 10 kids and how it was going to affect other families. I think at that point she really started realizing that, there are other kids out there that this is going to help, and so she became, she perked up and realized that, I'm an important part of history here.
1, 2, 3. Dr. Kakkis!
There's no place to put 3 kids who can't walk to go to the grocery store. And that trip to Six Flags just 2 days ago was, we didn't even think. We packed our car and went and walked the entire time. Who would have ever thought that your children could get that much better in 5 years?
I'm glad I could get on the medicine. And I'm glad they asked me to be on their study year.
Our lives have greater purpose, I guess, than just what we originally would have thought. Originally we would have thought we had had a few kids and raised them and sort of done the normal, went down the normal road, but we found out that we really had a very much more special road in store for us.
A burrito for my dog, and I'll take a cheeseburger, french fries, and a Coke.
That will be $102.
Here you go.
I guess one of the main things that happens when you're successful is that you work harder and get more tired.
We had to get that first lot released for clinic, and that entailed a lot of extra work. And it was right before Christmas, and I was saying, it's going to be really hard because these guys have been working a lot, every weekend, long hours. You can't expect them to work Christmas too, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, just to get the product released. And he said, well, okay, so what you're telling me is that you want me to go to the patient family and tell them their child can't get infused because you guys don't want to work Christmas Day? So I said, well, all right, so we'll just do it and we'll get it done. And
naive optimism, which was, yes, there are all these problems, but we should be doing this, so we're going to go ahead.
When Ryan was born, Mom and Dad had a vision of a little boy who was going to grow up and have brothers and sisters, and was going to play baseball and have a wonderful life. And he was going to get married and bring grandchildren, and we would live happily ever after. When Ryan was 3.5, we were told, don't think about that anymore, because when you do, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt forever. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because we didn't know there was a guy who existed by the name of Emil Kakkis.
Okay, you ready? Want 3 hands?
Just say now, please.
Okay, ready? One. Push it. Here it goes. Going.
I want to be a major league umpire or be an architect by designing houses.
I don't think the FDA quite expected the parents to be that compelling, and And so in some ways they were caught off guard, and in many ways we played what is really like a courtroom drama. They were the prosecution, we were the defense.
Is there any other comments?
I think we made the case and won, and I think it was a great day for us and all the work, great day for the families, and really, most importantly, a very important day for all MPS kids because it set the precedent for getting approval for drugs for all the other kids. And that's the most satisfying part of it.
Each family gave about 5 minutes, and we told about what life was like before the enzyme, what it was like after. And it was just a great feeling.
Almost 5 years ago, we were privileged to be a part of the clinical trial for enzyme replacement therapy. What a difference this treatment has made in Bryant's life. I'm very committed to doing whatever I can to see that other MPS children have the same good fortune.
And then in the afternoon, when they made the announcement that they were going to recommend that the FDA approve this, there's no way to describe the feeling among the families. Just, it was a great day.
Yes.
And we knew that finally this was going to be available to children who needed it.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
12-0.
I'm very appreciative to have the enzyme because I would, by now, 5 years ago, by now I'd either be in a wheelchair or dead.
I've known Bryant ever since kindergarten, which, just doing it roughly in my head, was 13 years. And he's just been a great friend of mine ever since I met him the first day of school in kindergarten. Brightens my day to know that he's changed so many people's lives.
You know, Bryant's really a miracle of modern medicine, and he's in a 2,500 student high school. He fits in wonderfully, he fits in socially, academically, he does fine. It's a real miracle, and for those folks that are sitting in those labs making these drugs and doing all the scientific tests they do and wearing trench coats, keep up the good work because it really makes a difference.
To know that my son was a part of something so important and so valuable is just a feeling beyond description. I'm very proud of him.
Every day you think about what it means to produce the enzyme, what it's going to mean for the patients, for the families.
But you try not to let it overwhelm you too much, because it is a big responsibility.
There was, you know, not much hope for them before, other than that the families knew that somebody out there, you know, had a big enough heart to put in that work and to try to bring it all together for them.
You have to do this. You know, it tells you, I don't care if they say it's impossible. You got to figure it out because you feel like it's your child too. And if you don't do this, it won't happen. So what the families gave me is that inspiration to pull out all the stops, find a solution for every problem, and to go as fast as you can.
What I would hope for is just whatever, that my kids can live their dream. Whatever they want to do, that they have a chance to do it. And I really believe they will have that chance now, that they can accomplish anything they want to accomplish. And before we got started with this trial, I don't know if I felt that way. Wish to be maybe even a doctor who one day works with MPS children, or possibly even for the FDA. Thank you for allowing us this time to talk about our children.
I feel fortunate to be able to be a part of something so impactful. You know?
I certainly feel lucky in terms of, yes, the hard work is there, but I feel fortunate not so often that in life where you presented with an opportunity where you could make a difference.
Before the enzyme, I suffer from depression, and I usually locked myself in my room and stayed in the dark all day and didn't want to talk to anybody, and that's changed a lot since I started. I have much more confidence, much more outgoing and happy, and you know, just being able to have fun. I just got a new car about a week ago. It's been, since I was 16 years old, I have been forced to drive and I hated it. And I didn't want to go anywhere. And now I'm like, I want out of the house, give me a car.
What else can I think of? I think it's a beautiful morning.
Well, of course, Damon, I've told him this many times. I think the thing is, you know, I've always thanked him for making me a part of the team that started this, and that I think, like I said, was something that I can look back on and say, oh yeah, I did that, and that was really a worthwhile thing to do.
The kids put up with a lot of procedures that weren't very pleasant, a lot of IVs, and they were just wonderful, and they were wonderful to me, and I just thank them for being involved, and I'm so grateful that I had this experience. It really was a privilege for me to be involved in the trial.
It's really made all the work worth it. To know that people are really gaining something from it.
We hope that they have a long, happy, and healthy life with this new therapy, and that they enjoy their children for many, many years.
I guess I'd like to express my appreciation to the families for being so grateful for the small things that we in the laboratory did. Their gratitude was amazing and very heartfelt.
These children leave something special with everybody they meet. They always will.
So many things we don't know how to do, and that's what your role is to provide those things for our kids, and we are so indebted. The thing that we can do is be wonderful, joyous parents.
To all the people around Dr. Kakkis who have helped with the research for this and making this happen, I say a big thank you from a mom.
So many great people putting forth a lot of effort, especially in the group at UCLA. Extremely hardworking people, still to this day. And I love each and every one of them.
And I'd like to say thank you for everyone who made it possible, who gave me back Woody, because that's what they did. Yeah. And I'm not sad, I'm just emotional because it is such a huge thing. You give a mother back her child. I mean, that's huge. So thank you to everyone.
Like a woman gone through labor forgets about the pain and remembers the baby, and I think there was a lot of challenge and pain getting through, but look at the baby we've got. I think for most people, and for me, you know, it's a lifetime worth of accomplishment in a few years.
Hey, stop going after my cue. Don't do it. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. You didn't get me. I didn't get me. What are you saying? I'm thinking. First down. Timmy's gonna catch you. Go. Got it? All right. Now we're not going the same way.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, now I got this. Let's tell you that's at first.